Join us live for this historic event. KWTX's Great American Eclipse coverage begins now.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our KWTX parking lot here, our special coverage of the 2024 total solar eclipse. I'm First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brady Taylor, joined with our meteorologist, Jillian. Now we call this Chief, Jillian Johnson. A day that we have been waiting on, seems like forever.
Forever,
and
yes.
Now it is here. It's going to be an epic day, and we're really excited to bring our coverage to you.
Yeah, so we are live outside of our KWTX studio right here in Waco. Today, a total solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, the U.S., and Canada. A total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. Now, the sky will darken as if it were dawn and dusk. 31 million people live inside the path of totality for today's eclipse. That's more than twice as many as the 12 million people who lived inside the path of that 2017 total solar eclipse. You're taking a look at where our crews are going to be stationed today across Central Texas for this once-in-a-lifetime event, and we will also have a shot up of the sun throughout this entire event too. So our teams will have have been on location since early this morning, and will be bringing you coverage throughout the day on the air like we are right now, and also online. Our crews are in locations directly in the path of totality like Lampasas, Evant, Gatesville, Killeen, Temple, Waco, and Hillsboro. We'll be checking with them throughout the day, but first, everybody wants to know, what is the weather going to be like today? We have some clouds outside, but give us an update.
I think all things considered, as worried as we were at times, yes, we're going to have off and on clouds. It's not as perfect a viewing as we may have expected, but overall, it's not looking too bad. We'll show you the satellite view across Central Texas, and we're going to deal with off and on mainly cumulus clouds that are going to be working their way across parts of Central Texas, a mix of those cumulus and high-level clouds, but compared to the low stratus clouds, overall pretty good. And with these style of clouds, it's probably going to kind of go in and out at times where you get good visibility, other times it's kind of coming out. The sun just kind of reappeared here over us. One thing you're going to get when it does reappear, it's going to get warm really quickly, so expect, we talk about eye safety, but you want to protect your body too and have the sunscreen on and all that. It's going to be warm. Temperatures are in the 70s, upper 70s, near 80 degrees, pretty much area wide across Central Texas. Winds aren't too bad. They're running about 5 to near 15 miles per hour. Those south winds are pumping in a lot of humidity, and that's something that you'll feel. And honestly, here in Waco, we were in about 20 minutes change. It felt like the humidity went up a ton across Central Texas, and you can see all those changes have went 30 to 40 degree increases in the dew points. Now, here's what we've got to watch. We've got, after the eclipse, the potential for some strong to severe storms across Central Texas. So we should make it through the eclipse rain-free, but the Storm Prediction Center has put the eastern two-thirds or third or so of Central Texas under an enhanced risk of severe weather. We're going to have to watch chance for some very large hail, possibly even a few tornadoes post-eclipse. So if you're driving afterwards, make sure you have our free KWTX weather app. And if you're going to be out and about, this is still going to, we're not just going to stand out here and talk about looking at the clouds. We're still going to talk about the science of what you're going to see. So you can go to our Degrees of Science YouTube page, subscribe to that. We're live right now on our YouTube page, and you can see what's going on and kind of why you're looking at it, learn a little bit of it as well. So really great if you're out with your kids and maybe they don't know, why are we looking at, why are we doing this? And this will help to explain it some while you're outside enjoying this once-in-a-lifetime event.
It really is an educational day for so many Americans across the nation, and for a really long time we've been harping on just how awesome this event is, and you had the opportunity to speak with a ton of eclipse experts from across the country leading up to this spectacular event. And so we're about to hear some of those wonderful answers.
We're getting ready. So here's kind of what they had to say in some of our discussions on part of our Degrees of Science series.
It's gonna get darker, it's gonna get colder. I think that's the biggest changes that we're gonna observe. Babies cry, you're gonna hear cicadas because the nature understands it's becoming nighttime. To me, I think it is the most beautiful natural phenomena that I have ever seen in my life.
It varies depending on where you are and what conditions you're in. It will vary based on cloud cover. So if you have a lot of clouds and you're in a more humid environment, you're not going to see as much of a temperature drop as somebody that is in a dry and clear environment. We did see in 2017 as much as a 30-degree drop in some locations, and some of those locations were actually kind of humid, so that surprised us a bit.
The corona is the outer layer of the sun. So if you can see that it's a diffuse kind of gas material that is around the sun. We cannot see it because the density is very low. When there is an eclipse, the sun is the surface of the sun, the photosphere is being covered by the moon, and we can see faint stuff. So you can see this diffuse structure on top of it.
Whenever we have the totality, it will get dark. It will get dark, dark. We will be able to see not only the most amazing things, which are the corona of the sun and the diamond ring and the 360 degrees sunset, but we're also going to be able to see stars, planets.
As the totality begins, the first thing you're going to notice about 15 degrees to the west of the moon and the sun, you'll see a very bright object, and that's going to be Venus. Then there's going to be also the other planets. You have Saturn and Mars also on the same side, a little bit further away. And then as you look to the east of the sun and the moon, and that's about 30 degrees, you'll see Jupiter. These are going to be fairly bright, so they'll be easy to see.
During this last bit, you can get some phenomena. With your eclipse glasses, you can see just the broken up limb of the sun, that the little bit that's not yet covered up. And that's, it's broken up because a little bit of the sun is shining through just a few valleys along the moon's limb edge. And those are called Bailey beads. And then after that, the moon will continue to move over the disk of the sun, and these Bailey beads will only be there a few seconds before there's just one left. And around the rim, you can start to see the glow of the outer atmosphere of the sun, called the corona, and that is called the diamond ring effect, because it looks like that last bit of light that's shining through the valleys is like a diamond, and the rest of the surrounding faintly glowing atmosphere is like the ring.
But the other rare object that a lot of the amateurs are really expecting is that if you look at Jupiter towards the sun and the moon, it's going to be a comet. Comet 12P Pons-Brooks.
There are distinct stages of a total solar eclipse, and throughout each stage, different features of the sun and outer space will be visible to us. A solar eclipse begins with first contact, when the moon starts to travel across the face of the sun. This is also known as the start to the partial eclipse. When the first contact stage starts, and for about the next hour and a half, skies will begin to darken as the moon continues to cover the sun. The next phase of a total solar eclipse is known as second contact. This happens as totality sets in. This is when people begin to notice changes to wildlife around them. This is also the time you may observe the phenomenon Bailey beads. As Bailey beads begin to disappear, a single bright spot of light will remain along the edge of the moon's shadow. That bright spot resembles a diamond, hence the name the diamond ring effect. Throughout the first and second phases of the solar eclipse, you must wear your eclipse safety glasses while looking at the sun. As soon as the diamond ring disappears, that means totality has set in. Now, totality takes place when the moon covers the entire surface of the sun. At this point in time, only the sun's corona, or outer atmosphere, is visible. During the totality phase, skies will be dark, but not as dark as it is during night. It is also safe to remove your eclipse safety glasses and look at the sun with your naked eye. Take time to observe the world around you during this phase. You may be able to witness a 360-degree sunset and see stars, planets, and maybe even a comet too. During totality, you can also expect to have a distinct drop in temperatures. Birds, insects, and other wildlife will become quiet as well. Throughout the entire time of totality, the moon will be moving across the sun, and eventually sunlight will pop back out on the opposite side of where the diamond ring was first shown. This marks the end to totality. As soon as sunlight reappears, you must put your safety glasses back on to safely view the eclipse. As totality ends, the third contact phase begins. This is the phase where the moon moves away from the sun. The third contact phase is much like second contact, but now in reverse. So just like you had the chance to get a look at the diamond ring, Bailey beads, and shadow bands, you'll be able to witness those things once again. Finally, the last stage of the eclipse will occur as the moon completely leaves the face of the sun. As the full disk of the sun reappears, the eclipse will officially be over. Get a good look at your screen right now. These are the important times you'll want to be outside during the eclipse. We wanted to inform you on some of the different times of when the eclipse starts in Central Texas, along with the start time to totality and when the event comes to a close. We picked 7 locations across Central Texas, but as you can see, the start times in our area only differ by a few minutes. So if you're wanting to plan on when you need to be outside and you don't see where you live on this chart, you'll want to take note of the times from the location you are closest to. But you can also find all this information for your exact area by visiting timeanddate.com/eclipse. Just select the total solar eclipse for April 8th, 2024 and enter your location. That website can also be found at the bottom of your screen.
Well, the total eclipse has been happening on our planet for thousands of years. It's something that we deal with, but kind of rare.
Yeah, for Central Texas, it's been more than 100 years since a total solar eclipse passed through. For more on the history behind total solar eclipses and why this eclipse right now is a once-in-a-lifetime event, here's meteorologist Sean Bellafiore.
April 8th, 2024 will be a day that goes down in history as a total solar eclipse is visible across the United States, with the path of totality being carved right through Central Texas. Now, this is not the first time in our lifetimes that there has been a total solar eclipse moving through the United States, but this is the first one in an extremely long time that totality has been seen in Central Texas. There is a lot of history about and around eclipses. In fact, Joel 2:31 from the King James Bible, the sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon into blood before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come. NASA astronomers were able to use this verse to estimate the day that Jesus died. April 3rd, 33 AD is when a lunar eclipse, known as a blood moon, was visible in Jerusalem. A little bit closer to recent history, this painting, or this rock carving, I should say, was found in the Chaco Culture National Historic Park in New Mexico, indicating the likelihood that a total solar eclipse was visible. The rock carving, kind of a sign of history there. This eclipse would have occurred on July 11th, 1097. Even closer to recent history, of course, here was that total solar eclipse that moved through in summer of 2017, starting in Oregon and ending up in off the coast of South America. Now, of course, this was not completely visible here in Central Texas. We only got a partial solar eclipse from that. Prior to 2017, the last solar eclipse visible in the United States, you would have to go back to February 26th, 1979. And just in the same way, totality was not seen here in Central Texas, with the path of totality going from the Pacific Northwest up towards the pole. So when was the last time that totality moved through Central Texas before April 8th? You have to go way back when, to July 29th, 1878, where North Texas and a part of Central Texas was under the path of totality from a total solar eclipse. So we're talking over 100 years between totality in our area. And if you're going to ask me when the next time we may see totality in Central Texas is, the answer is literally unknown. The National Weather Service in Fort Worth has this eclipse page where they talk about how rare solar eclipses are. In Robertson County, in Hearn, unfortunately, Hearn's missing out on totality in 2024. There has not been a total solar eclipse visible in Hearn since 1286, and there won't be until 2343, a period of more than 1,000 years. So a once-in-a-lifetime experience for sure. And here is Waco, the heart of Central Texas. The next total solar eclipse after April 8th is literally unknown, won't be happening until after the year 3000. Reporting in the studio, I'm Sean Bellafiore, KWTX News 10.
Thanks, Sean. The total solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, the U.S., and Canada. Again, 31 million people in the United States live inside the path of totality for today's eclipse.
Yeah, for the last couple of months, we've been urging you to take proper eye protection, have that ready when you're going to witness this special phenomenon. News 10's Isabella Quintanilla talked with experts on the importance of using solar glasses, those solar eclipse glasses, and here's what they had to say.
When the eclipse is happening, we want to see the moon, the disk of the moon actually covering part of the sun. And therefore you would need to look directly into the sun.
While we're all excited to watch the total solar eclipse, making sure to protect your eyes is essential.
Too much ultraviolet in our eyes will actually damage the detectors, the cones that will allow us to see, and they will burn it.
Once that part of your eye is burned from the sun's rays, there is no reversing that damage.
The rods and cones on the retina do not regenerate, so you can get a permanent loss of vision and just a central gap in your vision. If that happens, it can get a little bit better with time because there's some surrounding edema, and the edema will resolve, but the cells that were damaged are permanent. We don't have any way to fix that.
You can watch the eclipse with special glasses that block out the ultraviolet waves, but they're not always 100% effective. One way to make sure your eclipse glasses will actually protect your eyes is to check for ISO 12312-2, which means that it is intended for direct viewing of the sun. However, Dr. Eschbaugh says that even if you have eclipse glasses, you should avoid looking directly at the sun.
There are documented cases of fakes out there on the internet. So again, even if you buy something online that should be safe, you don't know if it's really safe or not.
But according to NASA, for those 4 minutes of totality, you will be able to safely watch the eclipse.
When the moon fully covers the sun, then it's safe for us to look directly into the sun. And it's beautiful. Then you can see the corona and the solar winds. It is an amazing, amazing phenomenon.
We want to stress that you are to never look at the sun without the proper eye protection. Throughout the partial eclipse phases, both before and after totality, you must wear your safety eclipse glasses while looking at the sun. During totality, when the moon completely covers the face of the sun, you can take off your glasses and look at the sun with your naked eye. You can only take your glasses off in this event if you are in the path of totality. If you are only seeing a partial eclipse Monday, you must wear your glasses throughout the entire event. You can see on this map here on your screen that majority of Central Texas will experience time in totality, but some of our southeastern areas are not in the path and will only experience a partial eclipse. So if you live across parts of Milam, Robertson, and Leon counties, you will need your glasses the entire time. Another important thing to note, be aware of fake eclipse glasses. On your solar eclipse glasses, you should have a specific ISO certification number. The ISO number you need to look for will be ISO 12312-2 and will be printed on your eclipse glasses. One more time, the ISO certification number that should be printed on your eclipse glasses is ISO 12312-2. We also have it scrolling on the bottom of your screen.
And a good trick to know is if you put them on and you're not looking at the sun, you can't see anything. If you can see, like you're inside your house and you see the light, don't use those. That means it's not strong enough. So watching the eclipse, you may be in direct sunlight for hours, and we can attest to that it is hot and humid. So sunscreen, hat, maybe even bring an umbrella to shade you when you're not watching. All that stuff's really important to prevent skin damage because, yeah, it's April, it's hot, it's humid, and yeah, you can feel it. We're going to get closer, as we're getting closer to the start, I mean, we're within a minute or two of some of our areas seeing this and starting to see first contact. It's going to begin shortly. So it'd be good to at times on your screen here. So Lampasas at 12:18, and it is 12:18. So you're going to, first contact means just a sliver of the moon's covering up. By what time it gets to Waco, 12:20, and our far northwest eastern counties, Corsicana, 12:22. So that moves pretty quickly.
Yeah, so let's check in with our teams across Central Texas. We'll start off in Lampasas with News 10's Alex Fulton, where the partial eclipse has just begun. What's it looking like out there, Alex?
Hey Jillian, I'm at the 580 Sports Complex in Lampasas, and taking a look right here, you saw, as Brady just mentioned, first contact just began. I can see the moon starting, or the sun starting to creep into the moon, and you know, we drove in around 9 this morning, and on the way in we saw lots of clouds covering the skies, and you know, in the last 30 minutes or so, we've definitely seen things start to clear up. I actually talked with one guy from New Mexico that was staying in the Austin area over the weekend, and he said that they woke up this morning and saw lots of clouds over there, and so they drove up to get a good view here in Lampasas. You can see that there's a good number of people that are gathered here at the sports complex trying to view that eclipse, and it's beautiful weather, a beautiful environment to watch that eclipse. Reporting live in Lampasas, Alex Fulton, KWTX News 10.
Good, happy Eclipse Day, I guess you could call it, from Buena Vista Wildlife Safari and RV Park in Event. Now, I've got this crew of some well-traveled folks with me. This is Lynn. She's our spokesperson for this hit. Lynn, can you tell me where y'all are from and kind of what y'all are about?
Most of us are from Virginia. We went to Virginia Tech together in the late 60s, early 70s-ish, most of us. And most of us are retired, except for, I think, one person with us is not. And we've just been close friends ever since school for 50-plus years, and we get together several times a year and camp and travel and hang out.
So why make your way to Event, Texas from parts all over the country for today?
Well, we decided that this was the best option for not having a lot of clouds, so we came into Texas, and it just also was a lot of travel opportunities, even though it was one of our further options to go.
Yes, ma'am. And now there are a lot of y'all. I'm not even sure we've got all of y'all in frame. And I was told this isn't even everybody.
No.
So how many people are in y'all's group of Hokies who just travel the country?
Well, it will vary. Well, there are times when we get together for just big campouts, and we might have, like, what? 50, yeah.
50 guys.
50, yeah.
So there are a ton of them. They're going to be out here all day. We'll check in with them again later. But reporting in Event, Nate Smith, KWTX News 10.
Hey everybody, I am live in Gatesville at the baseball park, and that's just near the Civic Center, and we are having a really positive turnout out here. We're really excited to see all of the people that we've seen. We've been here since 9 o'clock this morning, but some of the folks you're seeing out here have been here since 5:30 a.m. just waiting to get through the gates that didn't even open until 7. You can see a lot of people have set up shop. We've got telescopes and all different kinds of technology and gear to capture this moment for themselves. Now, there's a lot of people here, and I was actually talking with the library director earlier, and she was telling me that a lot of people were turned away from certain parties that ended up getting canceled, and they ended up finding their way to Gatesville, and they're actually super excited to have found this event to attend. So we're going to be speaking with that library director in just a few moments, and we will have more on what's going on here in Gatesville. I'm reporting live, Madison Herber, News 10.
All right, everyone. Happy Eclipse Day. Good afternoon from Killeen. I'm here at the Central Texas College, where everyone is starting to pour in as we are waiting for that partial eclipse to be seen through your glasses. Now, there are a lot of people who I've talked to, a lot of photographers and astronomers here, actually. A lot of telescopes that are being set up, along with camera shots. Later on, I'll be talking with a photographer from Hawaii and the North Houston Astronomers Club, who are all here to see exactly how the sun will look. Now, right now in Killeen, I don't know if you can tell, it just got a little bit brighter, but the clouds are kind of letting the sun peek through on and off. So a big concern in this area is, will we be able to see the totality properly through those clouds? So I'll be checking in with you guys very soon, and we'll be talking with those photographers and more astronomers coming up. But I'll check back in with you later. Reporting in in Killeen, Jessica Rajkumar, KWTX News 10.
we've like all over Central Texas. That's just a portion of where we're going to be. And as you heard Jessica talking about, they're wanting to keep a close eye on what the skies look like all across Central Texas. So you can see the risk of severe weather there. I don't know, guys, if we got which max system we got. Okay,
Awesome.
so again, you can see the sky cam there in the corner that we're watching. We've got the shot of the sun. It's going to be kind of going in and out. It may look dark there every once in a while. That's the clouds moving through. So scattered clouds are kind of what we're watching. See, that's the view I'm showing you from looking over Lake Waco. So it is going to be this kind of variable off and on clouds. You can see from the Lake Belton area, again, some of those scattered cumulus. The cumulus clouds are actually probably better to have than the stratus because those are what we call convective clouds. So it gets its heat source from the ground and that bubbles up those clouds. Well, as we get closer to totality, temperature should be cooling. We lose that sun source. So some of these scattered clouds will likely break apart. That was a view we just showed you from Waco. This is from the Bell County Expo Center. Again, it's pretty much the same view all across Central Texas. It's scattered off and on clouds, but there's some blue sky. And the good news is the high clouds look less thick. So if you get the breaks in the clouds, you're going to get to take in everything, not just some of the more smaller details. So that's definitely good news. And look at the clear skies in the Goldthwaite area and all the people there along the county courthouse are sitting there getting ready to watch. So yeah, so right now, kind of as we expected, kind of the further north and west you go, the better. But again, where you are, everything's going to be changing so much. And you know, we're talking severe weather. As you get up to where the clouds are right now, the winds are blowing super, super fast. You can watch them pass by. So it's going to come and go. So don't try to jump in your car and drive off too quickly. So we've showed you all across Central Texas. Gatesville is one of the towns with a lot going on, but in Waco at McLean Stadium, just outside there on the banks of the Brazos, there is a big event going on with Discovery Channel and Lowell Observatory and Baylor putting together. Let's check in with Jasmine Lotz that's on the Baylor campus with all the festivities. Jasmine?
So right now I'm at the Eclipse Over Texas event near Baylor Stadium, and as you can see behind me, the crowd keeps growing and growing. You see all sorts of people still coming in, and crews at the gate told me that they were able to sell each parking spot at the stadium, so this definitely means that here's the place to be. Now, I talked to folks from California and New Mexico who say they were here because of course, Waco's in the path of totality, but also because of what this event has to offer. So there's several speakers, scientists, and ambassadors from NASA, some even giving presentations in Spanish. So planners really made sure that there was something for everyone. Now, guests here say they want to have a better insight about the eclipse, and there's no one better to explain than science experts themselves. So people are definitely gathered around and are really engaged. And there's also a VIP spot too. It's a space that's clear of trees and have the perfect view of the sky. And it's a lot of people's first time viewing the eclipse, so they are very excited. And guests came very prepared. They have their telescopes, it's set up, it's pointed to the sky. So they're just really ready to see the path of totality take over. So, of course, we're going to be live with that and have more, so stick with us. Reporting in Waco, Jasmine Lotz, KWTX News 10.
Yes, here I'm at the Robinson Family Farm in Temple, where people have been coming in all morning, picking up their eclipse glasses, and we are now watching as the moon makes contact with the sun. I'm here with the owner of the Robinson Family Farm, Helen Robinson. Helen, how excited are you to have all these people come to your farm to watch the total solar eclipse?
It is very exciting, humbling. You know, our theme is growing memories, and the fact that people are choosing our location for this once-in-a-lifetime experience, I mean, I've got goosebumps just talking about it. People are coming from other countries, out of state, local, and for them to choose our location to experience that, that's special in itself. Yeah.
And so how many tickets have you sold for today's event?
So they're still selling currently, still going active, but we're over a little 600 right now. So if you haven't bought your tickets, come on out. There's still time.
And so what all is happening here today? What do we have going on?
Sure. So the biggest thing is this benefit is specifically going back to the Ronald McDonald House here in Temple that helps communities near and far, but especially for those that are here at our local hospitals with Baylor, Scott and White, and partnering with them, giving them back proceeds to this event. We've got live music, we have food trucks, of course, our famous games, photo ops, activities. It's just a big day of fun and to experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, I know we're all excited to see this happen. A lot of first-timers here.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us and opening up your farm. We're going to toss it back to the studio. Reporting live in Temple, Isabella Quintanilla, KWTX News 10. I am live in Hillsboro right now, and I mean, you can see we have a very fashionable group with us right now. They're getting more attention than the eclipse, if that's even possible. So tell me, it's the East Parkdale Survivors. What are you guys surviving? And tell me about these caps you guys are wearing.
Well, we're surviving the alien invasion, and these are for the aliens not to read our brains, right?
Yeah.
Our brains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Inspired by which movie?
Signs.
The movie
And we
Signs
watched
with Mel
it last
Gibson.
night and had a movie watching party. So, inspired.
Now, you guys are from Dallas, so what brings you over here to Hillsboro?
You.
Wow.
Our neighbors, they just said, let's go to Hillsboro. We said, all right, let's go. So our kids are feeling sick. The kids here, they're off. I'm off, retired. And, you know, we just had to come out here and check it out, which I'm glad we did.
We love it.
Yeah,
We love
we're
it.
seeing a lot of people out here. Honestly, a good crowd. Everyone's getting their hopes up as we're starting to see the sun. We're starting to see all of the eclipse good stuff. So tell me, you know, what else do I need to know before the eclipse?
Well, if we put this on you, it will save you from your brain. It won't read your brain.
Thank goodness.
Look at
They're
it.
not reading it.
All right, I'll try doing my live shots with this on.
Yeah.
Live in Hillsboro, Ali Calabar, KWTX News 10.
All right.
We're about an hour away from totality, and we have, well, another update on the weather. We were also talking about the great coincidence.
Yeah, so a cool thing. So you wonder, how can we see an eclipse? And it's interesting after talking to some of the professionals and experts, we're the only planet in the solar system that has a total solar eclipse. And the reason is the sun is 400 times bigger than our moon, but it's 400 times further away than our moon is. So it makes them look the same size. So just a really cool thing. And you can see there on the screen, it's starting to eat away at the sun, a gradual process that we've had good, like I said, there's been some clouds off and on, but compared to how the forecast looked, I tell you, we're lucking out. It's going to be a great day. But yeah, let's talk about the weather real quick. And the big thing is show you the satellite view that we have across central Texas. Again, there's those, you can see kind of what looks a little spots. Those are the lower cumulus clouds. There's still some high clouds at times. We're not going to be crystal clear. The best chance is out towards Gulfwood, Hamilton, but some of these clouds will probably move in there. Is it going to be crystal clear? No, probably not. But as you can see now, there's breaks. You'll get chances to see. And reminder, we're lucky that totality in the middle of the path is 4 minutes or more. So even if we get a stray cloud, overall, it's not going to be too bad. One thing to keep in mind as you're out and about, it is warm. We are near 80 degrees. Factor in the humidity. If you're out in the direct sun, it's probably feeling like it's close to 90. You will see Jillian and I sweating out here pretty well. Now, the winds are out of the south. They're not overly strong, but the humidity has been roaring back in. And we're talking about the dew point change. Dew point's a measurement of the moisture in the air. It's up in Gatesville 40 degrees from yesterday. Ooh. So you can feel that humidity. And why that's important, if it was an eclipse day, we'd be sitting in our office right now saying, we don't want the sun, we don't want the sun, because this is going to brew up potentially some rather strong storms. The east and northeastern parts of central Texas have been upgraded to a level 3 enhanced risk. That'll be after eclipse time, probably closer to 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Where we shift our attention to that. So enjoy the view, sunshades, regular glasses and the solar glasses, and yeah, have plenty of water. But it's a great day out here. I mean, like I said, hot central Texas, but we're seeing the sun, we're seeing the moon, and all things considered, this is really cool.
Yeah, so when you think about us sweating, it's okay because we're getting to we're getting to witness
when
this.
When you watch me do the weather later in my suit, I'm going to be nasty. Oh, I need a shower before going on. But hey, it's really awesome though.
It really is. Okay, so we have crews stationed across the area, but we also are monitoring traffic conditions inside our News 10 studio. Joining us now is News 10's anchor, Megan Boyd. A major concern today is the traffic. So let's see how conditions are out across on our TechStock cameras.
Yeah, hello, Jillian and Brady. We've been watching these TxDOT cameras since about 4:30 this morning. The good news is that things have been pretty clear. We have not seen any major traffic backups throughout the region. We're looking, at the I-35 split here. We've got Temple, Bell County area, the Waco area, even down to Georgetown, up to Ennis, and over in the Bernie area as people are headed towards Kerrville. And still, we cannot seem to find any traffic, which is good news for anybody that has to be out on the roads. But it's something we're going to continue to monitor because we know that once the eclipse comes and goes, that's when traffic could pick up. So we're going to keep an eye on these all different shots around the state to see if traffic picks up and let you know any problem areas that you should be aware of. Now, TxDOT is actually warning drivers once the eclipse starts. If you are on the road, they don't want you to stop. They even have signs up, if you've seen them out there this morning, that says do not pull over on the shoulder for the eclipse. They are expecting congestion to happen, like we said, throughout the day with, they say, up to 4 times the amount of traffic of normal rush hours. Again, that is once the eclipse clears out. So it's something that we are monitoring. Now, all eyes are going to be on the eclipse today. And if you're in the Waco area, you probably have already noticed the new solar-powered cameras that were stationed around the city. Officials say after totality, the cameras will allow the city to monitor traffic patterns, and it'll help them determine whether or not they need to give drivers alternate routes to ease some of that congestion.
Will allow us to have maximum visibility on the day of the eclipse as to what the traffic is doing and what things we can do to help facilitate traffic movement. Council has said numerous times that they're committed to public safety, and that includes both for our residents and for our visitors.
Now, the city of Waco also says that more law enforcement is going to be around today. You've probably been seeing them all weekend already, but they are ready to step in for any kind of emergency that could arise. Now, ERCOT says that it has a strategic plan and tools in place to maintain and balance our power grid. More than 26 million people rely on ERCOT for electricity, and we know that solar generation, of course, is going to be impacted during this eclipse. That's between 12:10 this afternoon, so that already started, going until 3:10 this afternoon. The maximum impact will happen around 1:40. That's when the eclipse is going to be in totality here in the Waco area, Central Texas. During the eclipse, solar generation is going to experience, they're estimating, a decrease of about 7.6% from its maximum clear sky output. So ERCOT is also collaborating with solar forecast vendors to address the eclipse's impact. Now, necessary steps are going to be taken to meet solar ramp requirements and balance power needs. Of course, we only see that small little sliver there covering the sun. And as we check their ERCOT grid conditions, of course, everything is normal here. And if we scroll down, this is where we can check on the solar, the orange here. Again, everything looking normal at this point. Now, there has been a lot of preparation for today's solar eclipse. Lots of emergency management offices are keeping close tabs on it. I want to show you the Bosque County Office of Emergency Management. They've been updating all weekend as people make their way into the county. Of course, they're updating on that weather risk that Brady and Jillian keep reminding us of. But they also talked earlier this morning that they were starting to see traffic pick up. Clifton police say 2 hours ago that traffic picked up. They're going to monitor things. People are making their way to City Park. So we're also monitoring those cities and counties' emergency management offices to make sure everything is going according to plan. These counties and cities have been preparing for months. Some are saying their populations could double from people all over the world, as we've heard, and it's all to witness this once-in-a-lifetime event. But smaller cities like Evant, those aren't used to the kind of traffic that comes with an eclipse, so people are worried about the safety of residents there. The main concern is that because of so many people using their phones during that time, people might have a hard time reaching 911. So even if they can, traffic along the roads could make it hard. Again, that's if things change from what we're seeing for ambulances, say, to get where they need to go. Now, while they are doing their best to prepare for the eclipse with the help from Hamilton County, those small towns are at a disadvantage because of limited staffing.
Chuck and I both, we went down to Uvalde for the annular eclipse to prepare. We've talked to all the Department of Emergency Managements in the counties around us. And right now, what our biggest concern is being able to get law enforcement.
Now, they hope with extra law enforcement around that they will be able to control that high traffic and more communication in case of emergency. And again, we are not seeing too heavy of traffic in their area at this time, but we're continuing to monitor it. Bell County declared a local state of disaster for today. As the county welcomes visitors, County Judge David Blackburn issued that declaration, and then cities like Temple and Killeen also went ahead and issued additional disaster declarations. Of course, they say that that is just in case they need any state help. Now, just 6 days before today's eclipse, the mayor of Killeen issued a disaster declaration. Like we said, the fire chief says that it's going to help the Killeen Emergency Management Office coordinate and collaborate with the Texas Division of Emergency Management if the city needs state help during or after the event. So we're going to be keeping you updated, like we said, throughout today's special broadcast with the latest updates on these traffic conditions. But again, things are looking pretty clear at this hour. So we will send it back to First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brady Taylor and Jillian Johnson.
Thank you, Megan. So most of Central Texas school districts canceled a class today for students and their parents to experience this once-in-a-lifetime event together.
Yeah, it's a decision that involved the help of local law enforcement, county officials. News 10's Alex Fulton tells us the factors that led to these school closures.
We just don't know what to expect.
On the day of the total solar eclipse, Temple ISD Superintendent Dr. Bobby Ott says Bell County's population could more than double.
We've seen numbers, at least for Bell County, that exceed 1 million people.
That much foot traffic could mean tons of traffic on the roadways.
You think about how many students that we transport on a bus every day and how long they could be on a bus, and we just don't know.
All those people could also put a strain on cell phone towers, according to Belton ISD spokesperson Jennifer Bailey.
There's going to be such a concentration of people here, and of course they'll be using their devices for, social media and that kind of thing.
So much uncertainty led both Belton and Temple ISD to cancel classes on April 8th.
We have a lot of students that have working families, and they could potentially come home or be home all day unsupervised. So for us, that was the reason we held on as long as we did.
But the learning won't stop just because classes are canceled.
We're going to send home activities for parents that they can participate with their child in during the event. We're sending home protective eyewear.
When students return the next day, teachers will be ready to continue conversations in the classroom.
And then having some follow-up discussions once the day's over and everybody's back in school. What did you learn? What did you see? What did you notice?
Both Baylor and McLennan Community College are canceling classes on April 8th as well.
All right, so we're here all giddy like school kids. So you're probably heading outside here pretty quick if you haven't yet, and you're like, man, YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Degrees of Science. We're streaming our coverage there, so we'll have this cool stuff kind of filter in with you as you're going through it. Now, there are some school districts in the path of totality that are doing class today.
Yeah, so China Spring and Rogers ISD decided to keep students in class today. That's where we find News 10's Chad Vothering live. Hey, Chad.
Hey, Jillian. Yeah, we're standing outside of China Spring Elementary School, one of the few schools that is open during the day of the eclipse. We know Rogers is also open. We're also told Riesel has their schools open as well. So we even stopped by the high school. They're open as well. So every school in the district using this kind of as a learning experience, as a pretty historic day, obviously. And so, we talked to some of the administrators. We talked to some teachers already, and they kind of just told us they want this to be a great opportunity for the kids to learn something that they'll only experience once in their lifetime. And so they'll have stuff in the back of the school ready. They'll be outside. They'll bring lots of kids out there just being ready to watch something that, you know, they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. And so they're going to really take advantage of this opportunity. And the kids are excited to school, even though that, you know, a lot of kids are, you know, maybe watching it from home. There's still a good amount of kids that are going to have a great opportunity to see the eclipse during a school day. So we'll have more coverage later from here in China Spring. We're live in China Spring for KWTX News 10. I'm Chad Bothreed.
I'm at the 580 Sports Complex in Lampasas, joined by Finley, Lampasas City Manager. Hey, Finley, first off, can you kind of tell us what you're seeing at the city parks today?
Yeah, we're seeing great day of crowds, kind of what we expected. The weather seems to be holding out very nicely for the event, and good crowds, and everybody seems to be enjoying it.
And how are the parks in terms of capacity? Is there room for more people?
Our parks are getting to capacity. We think we're still at a pretty manageable number, and I think they're probably the extent that we planned for.
That's awesome to hear. And so I know part of this is also kind of road closures. Can you talk us through, you know, what y'all did as a city?
Sure. And I think Lampasas is a little bit unique because we have three major highways that go through, 281, 183, and 190. And we felt like we needed to close some of those side streets so we could keep a good flow of traffic north-south, particularly when the event concludes.
That's awesome to hear. And then, I guess, how long have y'all been planning for this for?
We've been working on this for about 2 years. Obviously, as we've gotten closer to the event, the planning has intensified, but it's been a long process. We're glad to get here.
A long process that I'm sure that you guys are happy that it's finally wrapping up today. It's the final conclusion. Thank you so much for that, Finley. Reporting live in Lampasas, Alex Fulton, KWTX News 10.
All right, we are back in event with another member of our traveling group of Virginia Tech Hokies, Jackie. Now, y'all have done a lot of other travels besides just coming to see this eclipse. Y'all even do some caving. Can you tell me a little bit about just what caving is?
Caving is going underground into limestone, mostly limestone openings that have formed over the centuries.
So this eclipse sounds a lot calmer than caving. Caving sounds kind of chaotic to me. I'm going to be honest, but props to y'all for being that brave. It's riskier for sure. And you've seen an eclipse before, right? So
yes.
For all of our viewers that are out there who maybe haven't seen one before, they've been in Central Texas all this time waiting, what can they expect to see?
Well, first of all, you do need good glasses, okay? Otherwise, you could hurt your retina. And right now, the eclipse has started. It looks like Cookie Monster's taking a bite out of the sun, and it'll continue to eat its way across until the sun is completely dark. And then there'll be this beautiful ring around it, and then it'll move off to the other side. But keep your glasses on until it's completely gone.
All right, listen to Jackie. She knows what she's talking about. It's going to be a beautiful sight later today. Keep your glasses on, and we'll check back in with y'all from event later. Reporting in event, Nate Smith, KWTX News 10.
Hey guys, we are still live at the Gatesville Baseball Park, and the process to get to totality has officially started, and people are starting to really take an interest in it. You can see telescopes are pointed up and people are monitoring those, and everyone's got their glasses on. I am actually currently joined with the library director for the Gatesville Library, Shay Harp, and Chief Hunt. So I want to go ahead and start. Y'all been planning this for about a year, a little over a year. How does it feel to see this, the result?
It feels amazing. Getting to see everybody come together to see this anomaly, or I guess it's not really an anomaly, but even still, this is a once in a lifetime thing, and getting to meet everybody from around the world has been an experience.
Yeah, for sure. And so I know that we were talking earlier, and there are some events around town and around areas that have gotten canceled because of cloud coverage. Things have scared people off, and so they're actually finding comfort here in Gatesville. Can you talk about that?
So we actually have had a ton of vehicles come in saying that they were on their way down to San Antonio, Burnett, and got cancellation notices, and even looked at the weather. It was like, oh, it's turning ugly down there. So they turned around and they had seen our ballparks on the way down, And so that was pretty cool to hear their stories about how they're eclipse chasing.
And Chief Hunt, same as you, I know you're excited. You've been a part of this planning as well. And so can you kind of just talk about seeing all of this come to fruition?
Yeah, it's great for our community to be able to be, seen by so many folks from all over the world. We've talked to so many wonderful people in the last 3 days from across the ocean here, all across America. A lot of our folks have people in town from all over America visiting them, and just to share what we have here with the world has been a real blessing for us, and we're excited to have everybody here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're excited to be here. There's a lot of fun stuff going on, so stick with us because we're going to be here in Gatesville all day, and I'm going to be speaking with the NASA ambassador and some people that are from out of town, so we'll be live later today. I'm reporting live in Gatesville, Madison Herber, News 10.
That's awesome. It's a big deal when NASA has some of the biggest people in their organization here in Central Texas. So it's really, really cool. And you can see our shot. We're showing you what the sun looks like. It is really cool. Now, sometimes you have to dodge the clouds, but man, the clouds cool it off, though. I guess that's one cool thing. And if you're going outside with the kids, if you have a backyard thermometer, keep it with you because once the eclipse gets more, those temperatures are going to drop a good bit. So for many Central Texas, this is eclipse will be their first time to see one, just like the two of us. And many of us may be the only one we get to see.
Yeah, but for one local couple, this will be their 6th time seeing a total solar eclipse. However, it will be their first time watching it from home. They tell us why these events are so special. Take a listen.
Total solar eclipses are extremely humbling. Each one is different for different reasons, but they're always wonderful, and they remind you that you're just a piece of the puzzle.
Together, Peak and Chandler have seen 5 total solar eclipses in 4 different continents, including the U.S., South America, Africa, and Russia.
The first one was off a cruise ship, off of Curacao. Then Novosibirsk in Siberia, a public park, and a dairy farm in Zambia, just to name a few, and a mountain in Chile just recently. And of course, we saw the one in St. Louis.
The first eclipse they saw together was in 1998 and their most recent one in 2019. But for the first time, they'll be watching a total solar eclipse from their front yard.
The unique thing about Central Texas is we're in the path of totality. I mean, that's where you have the best viewing of the eclipse.
Because they've witnessed it so many times, they know the unique things that happen during an eclipse that most people watching for the first time might miss.
And when it's dark where you are, it's going to be light everywhere else because the shadow isn't big enough to go all the way to the horizon in any direction. And you'll see it darken first at the southwest, and then it'll darken over you, and then it'll lighten up in the southwest, but it'll darken over the northeast. So you can see the shadow actually moving.
But no matter how many times they see an eclipse and how many different countries, they say they'll never tire of it.
There's no greater gift than just looking up and being enticed and mesmerized by what's out there.
Oh, I tell you, that's cool. When we were just talking, this is a big event when people that have seen multiple are still going all over the country to and the world to see it. There's people from other countries here in Central Texas for this day, so a really cool event.
I think it also speaks volumes, just how magical this moment is, because you're like, okay, when's the next one?
Yeah.
How can I get there? Let's just try to see how we can make that happen.
And like I said, neither of us have been through one, but everybody that I've talked to from Baylor, from NASA, they say it's coming, but the feeling you get when it happens, like some of those, and we were just like, get outside before and listen to the environment. The birds are chirping. They're going to, if you got a dog, take a dog out there with you. They're going to start getting confused. It's something Dr. Bob Rendell from Baylor said she describes as a visceral experience. Like you're going to feel something when this occurs. So hopefully we're here with you throughout the ride of it, and we're going to have it here if you can't get outside by chance. Or if you're not from Central Texas, not in Path of Totality, we'll share this cool event with you.
Yeah, so Totality, about 40 minutes away, which is really exciting. So let's check in with the rest of our crews stationed around Central Texas. We start off with the News 10's Jasmine Lotz in Waco. Jasmine.
Hey guys, Jasmine Lotz here in Waco, and I met some pretty cool people, made some new friends. This is Sandy and Jackie, mother-daughter duo. So tell me guys, where you all from?
We're from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, cool. So tell me, what made you all want to come to Waco to celebrate the eclipse?
Well, last year my son asked, hey Mom, what's on your bucket list? And I'm so content that I couldn't think of a single thing. But then I remembered There was a partial eclipse in Atlanta a few years ago, and some of my coworkers traveled a few hours to see the totality, but I did not. And their reaction to it was so spectacular that I decided I do have a bucket list item, and this is it.
And I said, let's go then. If it's on your bucket list, we're going.
That's the way to celebrate it, for sure. So tell me, out of everything, we have so much going on here, but what are you looking forward to most, would you say?
Your broadcast after.
I love it. I love it. What else, though? I think just being here with a big group, just the excitement, just like hearing and seeing what the hype is all about is going to be really exciting.
For sure. So listen, if you want to come all out, we're all here. We have our glasses ready. We have our foods and drinks. We're having a great time. So live in Waco, Jasmine Lotz, KWTX News 10.
All right, guys, we're back in Killeen, and I'm here with Chowdhury, who has come all the way from Hawaii to photograph the eclipse. Now, Chowdhury, you were telling me earlier this isn't the first eclipse you've seen, and it's not going to be the last. So can you tell us a little bit about what you've seen and where?
You know, the first one I ever saw that's a total solar eclipse is in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, up at 10,000 feet high, 2.5 minutes. Total darkness, and stars came out, the birds quieted, was surreal. The next one was in 2019 in Kerala, of all the things. I was there in India, and they had this eclipse which we call it the Ring of Fire, when the moon doesn't cover the entire sun, but the rim is there. Oh my God, that was also spectacular. Now this is number 3. So I don't know if I qualify to be a eclipse chaser, but I'm trying.
I mean, yeah, you're trying, and I feel like if you've seen at least more than 2, you could qualify for an eclipse chaser, right?
Thank you so much.
Of course. Yes, and Chowdhury is also photographing everything. You have 2 Nikons set up on tripods here. He was showing me a little bit, and right as that partial eclipse was showing you, we could see it on your camera lens, right? So why travel from Hawaii? You know, you're in retirement. Why come to Killeen to see the eclipse?
Because I did, important thing for anybody listening, homework. Important homework. Where is it the best place? That's why last one I went to Wyoming. I did all the research, and Killeen is where you have almost the longest in North America, 4 minutes and 28 seconds. The next longest one is in Mexico, but here, that's why I chose Killeen, and this atmosphere here is unbelievable. The planetarium staff has been so nice, so that's why I have come here. Of course, Mother Nature is semi-cooperative, but still, through the clouds, you can shoot the eclipse, but homework is very important. You need any good lens that you could use. Most important is the solar filter.
Right.
Otherwise you burn your sensor, burn your retina.
Right.
So do a lot of homework and then read up. There's so much literature step by step. What to do when there is partial, what to do when there is the diamond jewel effect, what to do when the Bailey beads come, what to do when there is solar eclipse. It's something you cherish the rest of your life.
Awesome, and it's almost like a different experience every time, right? So hopefully we'll be able to see it during the totality, but we'll check back in later. We have some astronomers coming up, so I'll talk to them soon. By reporting in Killeen, Jessica Rajkumar, KWTX News 10.
Thank you.
Yes, out here in Temple, people are eagerly awaiting totality to start. Now, I'm here with a special visitor here at the Robinson Family Farm. What is your name and where are you at? Where are you from?
My name is Jerry Wolzanski. I'm here with my wife Robin, and we're here to visit my daughter who lives in Round Rock. And as a bonus, we're going to get a chance to look at this eclipse too.
And you drove all the way down from Virginia.
From Virginia, yeah. Took us 3 days.
Yeah, wow. And what do you have here? I've noticed you got a pretty big telescope here with you.
So this is a reflector telescope. There's a big mirror down the bottom. The thing with astronomy is a lot of the objects that we look at, it's not that they're too small, they're too faint. Some of these objects are bigger than the moon, but we can't collect enough light. So we use a big mirror down here to collect the light, and the light comes up here and is diverted with a small mirror out to an eyepiece, and then we can view it through the eyepiece. In this particular, let me just tilt this towards the camera.
Yeah.
Watch it, watch your head, watch your head.
Oh.
And we have a big filter in the front of this so it can block the light so you don't burn your eyeballs out. That's how Galileo went blind.
Yeah.
And so it enables us to see the sun with a full aperture of the telescope. Let me move it back.
Very cool. Yeah, and you drove this all the way down here.
Yeah, that's right. And I made this telescope myself. It comes actually in pieces. This just pulls out like that, and breaks down into 2 pieces for transport. So
Very
pretty neat.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you down here in Texas for the day. Reporting live in Temple, Isabel Quintanilla, KWTX News 10.
All right, I am live in Hillsboro right now, and I'm just losing terribly with Ari here. We are just playing games, passing some time before totality, but what we're also seeing are just tons of people. They're, of course, using their eclipse sunglasses to just look up and enjoy this experience right now. We're seeing a lot of people waiting, just in chairs, just enjoying the day. They're also, we saw this morning, it was kind of a slow start to the morning, but we're seeing some crowds. We're seeing a really good turnout right now, just really waiting for that eclipse. They just came on and announced that it was about 40 minutes away. Here in Hillsboro, it's 1 minute, 38 seconds until totality. So, imagine that. We are just waiting in anticipation, super excited. Also, Hillsboro is the number 7 spot in the entire world to watch the solar eclipse, according to Astronomy Magazine. So that's what drew a lot of people here. We've seen people from Dallas, Fort Worth, but we've also seen people from Austria. Yes, Austria. We've seen people from Seattle. We've seen people all across the nation and across the world just to come here. So we are excited to be out here, and we're going to keep playing our game until totality, right? Okay, I'm going to keep losing. Live in Hillsboro, Allie Cadlebar, KWTX News 10.
All right, it has been such a joy to see all the unique ways people are viewing this across our region. Just a quick note, the box on the screen, of course, we've got great viewing conditions right now, but when that goes black, again, that's just the clouds passing over. So the shot's still there. We're just hoping the clouds will be in our favor. Now, tracking this live from NASA, this little orange circle you see down in the ocean, that's where totality is happening right now. This big orange ring is the cast of the sun, of course, that's still stretching across. We can see it's made its way halfway across the United States, or getting some kind of eclipse at this point as the totality makes its way towards the continental to Mexico, then the United States. Now, total solar eclipses have fascinated people for centuries, but it didn't always used to be that way. For some, it was a rather terrifying experience when the world went dark. Now, Avery Niles brings us more on how ancient cultures made sense of and reacted to a total solar eclipse.
Dr. Thomas Gooder-John is a professor of anthropology at UT Tyler and specializes in ancient Maya culture. He says the eclipse was sudden, unexplainable, a terrifying experience, and they thought the world was ending.
Kanish Ahau is the sun god, and the Kanish Ahau that supports you, the Kanish Ahau that provides you with light, heat, ultimately everything, is suddenly eaten. And that's a terrifying moment.
Gooder-John says that even though the ancient Maya had a very detailed calendar, it is theorized that the eclipse was used as a fear tactic.
That was the source of Maya rulers' power. They would say things like, build me a pyramid or I will take away the sun tomorrow. And they go, yeah. We did that a while back. We're good. And then the sun goes away and everybody says, how big do you want your pyramid?
While this is just a theory, there is evidence to show there was enough known about the solar system to predict it. Gooder-John says it wasn't known to everyone until Galileo came along.
He wasn't the first, but he was the first who really promoted it and popularized the idea that demonstrated that the Earth was not the center of the universe. Nobody knew.
Today, a lot of the cultures either embrace or avoid the event altogether.
All right, thank you, Avery. Now, while some are expected to watch today's eclipse, others are preparing for it in their own way. Lisa Lee Garza has a deeper dive into the total solar eclipse myths and misconceptions that thousands believe in.
Between the good and the bad, darkness and light,
the good and the evil, many have drawn their own conclusions for decades about what a total solar eclipse brings to humankind. Jose Salazar calls himself an astrologist. An astrologist believes that the positioning of the stars and planets affect the way events occur on Earth. Salazar says in the Mexican culture, many believe they need to take precaution during the solar eclipse.
Mira, una de las creencias que hay es, por ejemplo, las mujeres embarazadas dicen que cuando hay...
Salazar says many believe pregnant women need to protect themselves with a piece of metal, like a safety pin. If not, the baby can have cleft lip or a birth defect.
Plantas que van a dar fruto, ponerles un listón rojo.
He adds if people grow fruits or vegetables, they should place a red ribbon to make sure their plants or trees have good harvest.
Mira, cuando estamos cocinando, la energía del sol y la luna es tan fuerte que...
Salazar says another belief is that because the sun and moon energy is so potent during this time, it can poison the food that is being made during the eclipse. People like Salazar believe there will be a change in energy during the total solar eclipse, during the path of totality, like an eagle pass.
Que va a haber un cambio total.
He says particularly in government, education, business, family, humankind, days and months after the eclipse. This could possibly mean a negative time period. Many people in our community believe these old wives' tales, but science says otherwise. NASA has come up with a list of myths and misunderstandings people have relating to the solar eclipse. One of those myths is pregnant women protecting themselves. They assure this is a false idea, that the radiation is harmful, that can affect the woman or the baby. NASA also debunking a meal being prepared during the eclipse being poisoned because of radiation. They say this is false. And another one of the most common beliefs is the prediction of changes in events in humankind. NASA says eclipses are not historically recorded, but they tend to be recorded when they coincide with historical events. But for many people like Salazar, they say they much rather be safe than sorry.
All right, so we are checking another live look across the state of Texas at the traffic conditions that we are seeing. We've got shots up here from the Waco, Bell County region all the way to Bernie. We have some shots down in Georgetown, Hillsboro, the I-35 east and west split here as well. And you can see here there's really not a lot of traffic. I want to show you some different areas. This is the Temple Adams Avenue area. Traffic moving smoothly, maybe even lighter than usual. And then, you know, let's look over here in the Waco area. That event off of the Brazos near McLean Stadium is just over this direction, and there's not a lot of traffic. So that's a really good sign that things are moving the way they are supposed to this morning as these traffic cameras are loading. We'll keep an eye on this. It's expected to get worse once the eclipse is over, so we will be keeping an eye on it. Brady Taylor and Jillian Johnson are standing by outside with everything we need to know for this eclipse this afternoon. How's it going out there, guys?
Oh man, I tell you, we're having a blast. We just had a cloud move over,
Yes.
so but I tell you, I think the clouds may make it when you get those peaks. You're like, oh man,
Yes,
and,
it is.
and we've got plenty of time to see. So yeah, we're having a blast. Megan, you need to come outside and enjoy some of
With
it.
your glasses.
Yeah, we keep
All right,
running
I'm on
back.
my way.
Yeah, and if you're heading out to look, and you still want to see some of our coverage, or you know, we're going to talk about some of the science involved in it. Take your cell phone, go to our YouTube page, just search Degrees of Science. We're streaming there on our website as well. So, yeah, thank you for all of you that have been watching, those who've just joined us. Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Brady Taylor, Meteorologist Jillian Johnson here. We are here enjoying the eclipse right along with you.
Yeah, so right now it's 1:07, so just about 20 minutes away, less than 20 minutes away for some of our southwestern areas. But yeah, so totality will be setting in here shortly. A total solar eclipse is now crossing over North America. It's already passed over Mexico, so now it's in the United States, and it's actually going to continue north into Canada.
Yeah, so a total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun. and that completely blocking the face of the sun. So we had an annular eclipse last October. That was when the moon was a little farther away from the Earth, so didn't cover it completely. The skies will be very much like dawn or dusk. It won't get completely dark everywhere, but you're going to dark enough you can see stars up in the sky and planets. 31 million people in the United States live in the path of today's eclipse, and who knows how many extra million are traveling into that. NASA mission scientist Nicola Weil tells us why today is different from the eclipse that we had back in 2017.
This one is different than the one in 2017 for a few reasons. I got to see the one in 2017, so it was so amazing. The first is that the path of totality is coming over where more people live, and so more people will have the opportunity to see the total phase of the eclipse. The second thing is that the totality phase is going to last longer this time than in 2017, almost twice as long. This one will last for 4 minutes in the central line of totality there. And the third thing is the sun is more active right now. So in 2017, there was some activity. The corona had some structure, but in this phase, the sun is more active, so that corona, the atmosphere of the sun, is going to have more complexity, and we might even get to see magnetic explosion happening on the sun during the eclipse.
All right, so there's a breakdown of totality, which again, the start times are going to be across our area. So again, starting at 1:38 in Waco, but the first start of totality will be at 1:35 in Lampasas, and again 4 minutes and 25 seconds roughly in the best areas. Final start will be in Corsicana at 1:40, and again we're looking at about a 4.5 minute stretch of totality.
So you may notice that some of our southeastern areas are not in the path of totality. For more on what has to happen for a total solar eclipse, here's Gina DeBracchio, the Deputy Director of Heliophysics at NASA.
So an eclipse happens, a solar eclipse happens, when the moon crosses between the Earth and the sun. For this total solar eclipse, the moon is going to completely block out the sun, and its shadow will be cast on the Earth. And so if you're lucky enough to be in that path of totality, you're going to see the outer corona of the sun. That's the upper atmosphere of the sun. If you're outside of that path of totality, you will have a partial eclipse, which means you won't be able to see that full totality, but you'll experience a partial eclipse nonetheless.
So yeah, a lot of the science there behind it. We were just talking, we just started hearing crickets that weren't starting earlier. So little things that you'll notice. So if you're in the path of today's eclipse, you will see this once in a lifetime event. Our next chance of seeing something like this won't be for another 2 decades in the United States.
The next total solar eclipse expected in the U.S. will be in 20 years in August of 2044. But here's the catch. Only 3 states will see totality, which are Montana, North and South Dakota. So we're currently in the first contact phase of the eclipse. For an in-depth look at the eclipse process, here's more on the timeline of events expected today. There are distinct stages of a total solar eclipse, and throughout each stage, different features of the sun and outer space will be visible to us. A solar eclipse begins with first contact, when the moon starts to travel across the face of the sun. This is also known as the start to the partial eclipse. When the first contact stage starts, and for about the next hour and a half, skies will begin to darken as the moon continues to cover the sun. The next phase of a total solar eclipse is known as second contact. This happens as totality sets in. This is when people begin to notice changes to wildlife around them. This is also the time you may observe the phenomenon Bailey beads. As Bailey beads begin to disappear, a single bright spot of light will remain along the edge of the moon's shadow. That bright spot resembles a diamond, hence the name the diamond ring effect. Throughout the first and second phases of the solar eclipse, you must wear your eclipse safety glasses while looking at the sun. As soon as the diamond ring disappears, that means totality has set in. Now, totality takes place when the moon covers the entire surface of the sun. At this point in time, only the sun's corona or outer atmosphere is visible. During the totality phase, skies will be dark, but not as dark as it is during night. It is also safe to remove your eclipse safety glasses and look at the sun with your naked eye. Take time to observe the world around you during this phase. You may be able to witness a 360-degree sunset and see stars, planets, and maybe even a comet too. During totality, you can also expect to have a distinct drop in temperatures. Birds, insects, and other wildlife will become quiet as well. Throughout the entire time of totality, the moon will be moving across the sun, and eventually sunlight will pop back out on the opposite side of where the diamond ring was first shown. This marks the end to totality. As soon as sunlight reappears, you must put your safety glasses back on to safely view the eclipse. As totality ends, the third contact phase begins. This is the phase where the moon moves away from the sun. The third contact phase is much like second contact, but now in reverse. So just like you had the chance to get a look at the diamond ring, Bailey beads, and shadow bands, you'll be able to witness those things once again. Finally, the last stage of the eclipse will occur as the moon completely leaves the face of the sun. As the full disk of the sun reappears, the eclipse will officially be over.
Do we have to talk on TV?
I
or
know,
kind of
right?
sit
Can we
here
just
and
like
look?
the whole time?
We keep forgetting every time we look up. I can't see anything. It's awesome out here. I tell you, you've got to get outside. Part of what makes an eclipse so incredible to watch is the impact that it has on the world around you. Again, we already talked about stuff we're hearing, but one of the stranger impacts is what impacts it has on your animals.
So that's why staff at the Cameron Park Zoo in Waco will be closely watching its animals. News 10's Isabella Quintanilla reports.
In 2017, North Carolina State University did a research study on animal behavior during the total solar eclipse. They found that approximately 75% of the animals studied had a notable reaction, but why?
When it comes to the question of how do animals react during an eclipse, you know, it's helpful to think about what actually happens during that eclipse time.
When those bodies are perfectly aligned and the moon is right in front of the sun, covering the disk of the sun, it will get dark. We also have a change in temperature. Maybe pressure might change as well. The direction of the wind can change and influence how nature would respond to a totality.
A lot of this strange behavior is simply animals switching from their day to nighttime routines.
The animals will perceive the total solar eclipse as if it would be the sunset or the sunrise. So for nocturnal animals, they're probably gonna wake up and say, it's time to go by my day.
Cameron Park Zoo in Waco is home to more than 1,700 animals and 300 different species. On the day of the eclipse, they will remain open, but around the time of totality, their staff will be closely observing the animals in case they have a reaction to the event.
We are curious to know if that will happen, and we'll be there to help our animals through it, per se, if any of them get confused.
Every animal reacts differently, which is part of what makes this phenomenon so unique. And if you want to witness this, just take a look at your own pet.
I think it would be a fun exercise and a fun experiment for the kids to bring the puppies outside and the animals outside and look at their behaviors and observe what they are doing.
Experience the eclipse, learn, and have a great time.
Oh man, I tell you, really cool. Just all the different kind of angles of this eclipse, you know, once in a lifetime. And we've been standing out here. It's kind of like I don't know, it's an odd, you don't feel this kind of light any other time where it's
Think about it, it's
darker.
1:15.
I know, but it's not like the sun's setting. It's just you're losing about 2/3 of the light coming from the sun right now. And you may be experiencing this once in a lifetime event with friends or family. NASA has a few programs that you can actually participate during the total solar eclipse. Here's how you can help.
Now, NASA has several projects that you can actually get involved with as well. Globe Observer is the first one, and that is a way to actually track what the temperature and the cloud coverage is at your location to report that out and help us to understand how the eclipse impacts weather that we experience here on Earth. Now, Sun Sketcher is another project that NASA is offering where you can actually help us to determine kind of the shape and the size of the sun during the eclipse as well. And then finally, soundscapes. So sounds change during the eclipse. And what I mean by that is that wildlife and nature around you may change. And so you have the opportunity to really help us to understand what those sounds are that you're experiencing, whether birds kind of start to nest and chirp and go in, if the crickets come out as well.
Got to pay attention to everything around us. Paying attention to the roads here, things continue to be nice and clear. But whether there's traffic or not, TxDOT is warning drivers not to stop on the side of the highway or interstate. They have banned wide load trucks to drive on any interstate in the path of totality today. So right now, as we look at these different live pictures, I want to show you here in the Hillsborough area. Ali Kadlabar was live at an event up there. We saw lots of people, but the good news is it's not impacting our roadways, and we're seeing that across the region where roads do not seem to be impacted by the eclipse at this time. Now, TxDOT says that major corridors in the path of totality, like I-35, 45, I-10, US 87, US 90, 281, and 290, they could all see some congestion once the eclipse is over. Obviously, we know a lot of people clearly are in place for this to happen here in a matter of minutes, but once they all pick up and try to leave, that's when we can see that traffic pick up. They say it could quadruple in some areas, so something that we are keeping an eye on.
All right, so thanks, Megan. The time, 1:18. So that means in the Waco area, totality 20 minutes away. So, so excited.
Yeah, I know. And, we're still dealing with off and on clouds, but, we're under one right now, so we're not getting fun. But I think we're going to get breaks where you can enjoy this once in a lifetime thing. So we want to get another check-in with all of our crews all across Central Texas. We'll start out this time in the Lampasas area where Alex Fulton is.
Hey Brady, I'm back at the 580 Sports Complex in Lampasas. Now earlier in the show, when I got a look at the sun with my glasses, the moon was just starting to creep over the sun. I'm going to take a look right now with my glasses, see how things are looking. So it looks like about 90% of the sun is covered by the moon at the moment. It's a little hard to see. The clouds are kind of going over it at some times, but the cool part is certain times you can see the sun peeking through and you can see that moon over the sun. It's very, very cool. You can start to feel a breeze right now as the eclipse is continuing. There's lots of people gathered here watching the total solar eclipse, and people are coming really from all over the country to view this. And the cool part about Lampasas is they're going to be getting 4 minutes and 24 seconds, which is one of the longest times in totality for all of Central Texas cities. So lots of people here watching for that. Reporting live in Lampasas, Alex Fulton, KWTX News 10.
We are back in event at the Buena Vista RV Park and Safari with another member of our crew of traveling Virginia Tech Hokies. I've got Mike with me. Mike's been proclaimed the youngster of the group at 43. So Mike, what's it like to be the youngest member of this crew?
It's fine. It's great. You get to learn a lot of things from this group. So
learning a lot, seeing a lot. How'd you meet them? I mean, there's an age gap there. You don't meet people who are significantly older than you and travel with them every day. So how did that happen?
So we're all part of the the VPI Cave Club in Blacksburg, Virginia, as part of Virginia Tech. And students come into the grotto, they get their membership, and you're part of this, fraternal club. And so we still have people joining, and once you're in, you're just part of the family.
Part of the family for life. That sounds great. Now, you told me earlier that you're actually on your way back from a trip, making your way back to Virginia. Where are you coming from?
I've been all over the West. I've been out skiing in Utah, Colorado, California, and camping, and just working remote and trying to have fun on the side.
Having fun and working remote. Well, I've never been skiing personally. How was that? You made it back in one piece, which is good,
it's right? One piece. Everything's intact, so it's great. It's you ride the lift to the top, and you let gravity do the rest.
Let gravity. I guess. Is gravity doing a little work in the solar eclipse? I'm not a scientist. I don't know how that works.
For skiing, gravity does all the work.
Yeah, but are we seeing gravity work today?
I don't think gravity's working today. I think the solar system
things much bigger than gravity are at work today here in Event, as well as across the path of totality everywhere. But once again, reporting from Buena Vista Wildlife and RV Park in Event, I'm Nate Smith, KWTX News 10.
Hey guys, we are still live at the Gatesville Baseball Park, so if you can't tell, it's kind of the place to be right now. Now, when I first got out here earlier this morning, that sun was hot. I was sweating. We were constantly drinking water. That is no longer a concern. Now that we are having some significant coverage from this eclipse, we are starting to feel a breeze, and we are definitely starting to see the lights dim in the area. I do want to talk a little bit about what we've got going on over here. There's a NASA ambassador that we're going to be speaking with in just a little bit. He has a very cool contraption set up that is basically allowing anybody to watch what's happening in the sky without ever having to look in the sky. So he has put up a solar projector, and it is basically projecting the solar eclipse onto this screen in front of us. And so we are going to be talking to him later, kind of the science behind how it works. And, you know, there's a bunch of people over at his booth right now, so we'll get some of the excitement from people who are getting to experience this for the very first time. So stick with us for that. I'm reporting live in Gatesville, Madison Herber, KWTX News 10.
Good afternoon from Killeen, everyone. The weather has started to get a little bit more windy. It's a little less sunny, but that doesn't mean people aren't excited. You can see behind me here, the crowd has pretty much doubled since we last talked, and everyone is pretty much excited. Off and on, we're seeing eclipse glasses go on and off, followed by cheers. So we're almost at totality right now, but everyone's anxiously waiting to see it. Now, Chief of Police Kevin Lopez and Mayor Debbie Nash King both did come to the stage today to just address the crowd and say a couple words, but what they wanted to emphasize more importantly was make sure your eyes are protected. It is an exciting time. We're so excited to see the moon, you know, move this closely to the sun and actually physically see that change. And so don't get too caught up in that excitement, because we want to make sure that our eyes are protected. But it's getting darker and windy right now, so I will check back in with you very soon. I'll be talking to a couple from Wyoming on what they have to say about coming to Killeen. I'll check back in with you later. Reporting in Killeen, Jessica Rajkumar, KWTX News 10.
Man, I tell you, it's really cool. Like I said, if you haven't been outside, the clouds are off and on. You'll see there in the corner of our screen. So the sunshot is there. When it disappears, that's cloud moving through. These solar filters in your glasses, even slight cloudiness, it's hard to see through, but that is the camera helping your eyes out. But yeah, we're getting close. We're at 15 minutes.
So land
14
passes,
minutes.
you have about 10 minutes until totality sets in.
And that's the only time you need to see it without the glasses. When you know to take it off is when you see the diamond ring, the big blast potentially. That's when everything, and you can't see anything with glasses, take them off. So yeah, we want to take another real quick look. What I'm going to show you here is actually what we'll see after the eclipse happens, because we're going to shift from about 3 to 4. Once the eclipse is done, we shift into severe weather mode. So we're super excited to be out here watching all this and being outside. But it is April. The Storm Prediction Center has upgraded the severe potential from areas pretty much from Waco to around Hearn, northeast from there. So Falls County, Robertson, Leon, Limestone, Freestone, Navarro, Hill County, all under an enhanced risk. There's a slight risk elsewhere. Storms will start to fire up later today. Once the eclipse is done and the sun starts to heat back up this very humid atmosphere. I mean, we were out here an hour ago and it felt horrible out here. So that warmth and humidity will combine for the severe potential. But right now we're dealing with scattered clouds. It's so cool. It's just a different feel out here.
Yeah.
The sky looks different. Everything. You know, we've heard crickets off and on. You can see the birds kind of flying around like they don't know what's going on. So, you know, if you're in a big group, I've heard people say that even babies cry when this goes on.
But like emotions come over you.
So you can see the black screen there. That again, there's a cloud from our vantage point. And this is how hit or miss it is. It's like right on the edge of a cloud. Now it's poking through a little bit. But yeah, so yes, it may be a little off and on, but right now we're to the point where the environment's going to change even if you're in cloud coverage or not. It's an amazing experience.
All right, so a lot of you will try to capture this amazing phenomenon to remember this special day, but pointing your camera to the sun without the proper protection can damage both your device and your eyes. News 10's Isabella Quintanilla has more.
A total solar eclipse is a rare phenomenon, and many people will want to capture the event on their phones or cameras, but doing so can actually cause permanent damage.
The way a telephoto lens works, making that sun bigger in the frame of your camera, is that it uses optics and it enlarges that picture, right? And that allows more light to be focused directly onto the sensor.
But the direct sunlight without any protection will overwhelm and burn a camera's sensors.
It's a little like looking at, burning a piece of paper with a magnifying glass.
Looking directly at the sun through an unfiltered camera can also cause irreversible eye damage by burning a person's retina.
Any optical device that uses glass and lenses and mirrors
if that is pointed directly to the sun without any kind of filtering, will, number one, completely damage and destroy the equipment, and again, is extremely harmful to your vision.
Doctors recommend using an ISO-certified solar filter during the eclipse to protect both your eyes and any sort of camera.
But you have to make sure that the solar filter goes in front of the lens, meaning all light entering the camera has to be protected by the solar filter.
If you're going to try to put these glasses on and then look through a telephoto lens without a filter in front of it, you're probably going to damage your eye.
Oh man, so yeah, we were just out here fanboying on this thing. Like, it's in between and kind of coming. I mean, we're in that last little phase that even when the sun comes out, where it isn't behind clouds, it doesn't really brighten up all that much. Now, some new technology allows those who are blind or visually impaired to experience this once in a lifetime event.
Kennedy Walker joins us to share the technology that is being actually here now, allowing everyone to experience this history.
The total solar eclipse will have millions looking towards the sky. Unless you can't.
I've always been very interested in space and just all the planets.
But Alexa Owens and her co-workers at the Lighthouse for the Blind in Fort Worth will still be able to witness the rare event, just in a different way. By hearing it.
It actually changes pitch so that you can be able to experience the actual eclipse all through the sound versus actually seeing what's going on.
It's through a Lighthouse sound device. It translates changing lights in the sky into different musical notes. When the sun is bright, there will be high flute tones. As the sunlight starts to fade, you can hear clarinet sounds. And when the moon completely conceals the sun, creating the total solar eclipse, there will be a low clicking sound, allowing Alexa and others who can't see to experience the eclipse through audio.
I think it's very important to adapt anything for visually impaired or blind people because we can do anything just like everyone else. It's just some accommodations need to be done.
But the accommodations don't stop there. The blind will also get to feel the eclipse by touching it.
We will actually have printouts in its entirety showing the moon going into position through Braille interpretation as well as tactile.
A way for everyone to get to experience this once-in-a-lifetime event, no matter your differences.
I feel very good about it.
Anyone who is blind can receive those accommodations right here at the Fort Worth Botanic Gardens, but anyone is able to come to the Botanic Gardens Solar Eclipse Experience. You just have to buy a ticket online or in person. In Fort Worth, Kennedy Walker, CBS News, Texas.
Okay, so let's get a quick last check-in really before totality sets in with our crews is stationed around Central Texas. So let's head out there to them.
Yeah, out here in Temple, you can see it is visibly darker. The temperatures have dropped. Here behind me, there are hundreds of people who brought lawn chairs, picnic blankets, and even some special cameras with solar filters on them to capture the eclipse. And we are just waiting for that totality to begin. They have all kinds of activities here at the Robinson Family Farm, but everyone's stopped and standing right now looking towards the sky. I've got my eclipse glasses and I am ready to watch the eclipse, so be sure to stay tuned. If you are able, go outside with your eclipse glasses that have an ISO certification on them and take a look towards the sky. Reporting live in Temple, Isabella Quintanilla, KWTX News 10.
Hey, well, we're at China Spring Elementary School, and I'm telling you, this is probably one of the most fun spots to watch the eclipse, and it's been pretty dramatic here as well. We're out with the second, third, and fourth graders, with a lot of the second graders right now, and they are having a blast out here, and it's been dramatic, too, because just a couple of moments ago, the clouds were kind of blocking it as we're, getting close to the total eclipse here in just a few minutes, but it looks like the clouds, from when we're seeing it, it cleared up a little bit, and the reaction was just absolutely incredible to see. The kids are so excited. They've been preparing for this for a long time, doing the Oreo projects and everything, and so they are excited for it. It's going to be a great experience for them, and they're ready to see history here. So yeah, they're really into it. It makes me want to, wish I was back in school during this time, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that these kids get to experience. So we'll have some more coverage later from here in China Spring, and we're live in China Spring for KWTX News 10. I'm Chad Bothering.
I mean, wow. We are just one of many, many people here. I'm just in awe of what's happening right now. And I'm here with a visitor too. We just can't take our eyes off of the eclipse right now. How are you feeling? Right, you're from out of town. You drove 14 hours from Colorado, and it's almost here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty excited to be here. This is a fabulous town in Hillsboro, and we're getting ready to see the total eclipse in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten cooler, and I mean, everyone's just entranced by the eclipse right now. I don't want to take my glasses off and stop looking at it.
Shall we look at it now?
We should, and we'll just continue the interview as we go on. Okay. But I mean, I'm hearing a lot of birds chirping. We're just really just staring at this. We're just waiting on the edge of our seats to just experience totality along with everyone here. I know everyone's just looking up at the sun right now, just very excited. I mean, it's so cool right now. I was sweating earlier. Now it's breezy.
It's definitely cooler than it was before, and it's not just the cloud cover. It's definitely the sun.
Yes.
Disappearing.
The sun is disappearing, and it's almost here. My goodness. Okay. Anyways, we gotta wrap so that we can get on with totality. Live in Hillsboro, Allie Kadlamar, KWTX News 10. All right.
Oh man, I tell you, it's funny. You don't see them all on here, but all of our employees, or a majority of them, are getting out here. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to take the shot that you see in the corner full there. Now that shot's black right now because we have one little cloud. We're hoping that it'll get out of the way, and we're 4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah, 4 minutes.
4 minutes in the Waco area, so less than that in Lampasas areas to the southwest. The path will pass from southwest to northeast as we go throughout the day.
It's getting dark. It's getting a lot darker. This is so amazing. Okay, so we'll actually take a look at our totality map right now just to give you guys one last look of the times that everything is playing out here for today. Again, about 1:38 in Waco. The further northeast you travel, a little bit later, our southwestern counties already ongoing.
Lampasas Llano just got into Lampasas in the next minute.
Probably 30 seconds
we're
or
going to
less.
take this shot full here in just a second, and you're just going to hear me and Jillian kind of talk over it. And if you weren't out and about, and we advise, if you want, just go to our YouTube page, search Degrees, and we'll talk about what we're seeing to explain. Really, if you've got kids and they hadn't had a chance to see what's going on, because we're going to explain some of these little things. So right now, you still need the glasses on. You can see the last little sliver there. So one cool thing, particularly if you're more on the outer edges of the eclipse path, the total eclipse path, you'll have a chance to see what's called Bailey beads. So if you think of the moon, you think it's round, but there's craters, valleys in it. So the last few little bits of light will start moving through those outer edges, and it's going to cause little bright spots along the edge of the moon or the sun. So that's called the Bailey beads. It was a scientist, last name Bailey, that discovered it. After that, once it gets to the last little deep spot of the moon, there on the outer parts of the moon, there's going to be one bright blast of light move through. That's called the diamond ring. You'll start to see the corona around the edges, and then you'll see that bright blast. It's getting close to that point.
Yes.
Now, we still got a little bit. Then once you see the diamond ring, or if you're looking with your solar glasses, you can't see anything other than a cloud. That's when you can take off your glasses. You've got roughly 4 minutes. Again, right now, if you're watching in Lampasas, areas like that, oh my goodness.
I know, this is incredible.
So you're going to hear us just kind of take this in.
Well, look at all. So I know we have that full shot up, but the lights in our parking lot started to come on, like where we usually park the cars. All those lights are coming on too. So wow.
So you want to be as far away from the lights as you can. But
incredible.
Just taking in the birds are kind of oddly taking it in. But so we are still in the Waco area, not quite to totality, again, you want to look on that left side of where the sun's little outer part of the sun is. That's where those Bailey beads will start to appear. Now, once it goes into totality, and if you're in an area where the skies are clear enough, if you look to the right of the moon, the bright spot there is going to be Venus. You'll be able to see Venus, Saturn, and Mars to the right of the moon. To the left of the moon is Jupiter. Now, between Jupiter and the moon, you've got the chance of seeing a comet. Now, the clouds may restrict that some, but there's a comet called the Pons-Brooks comet that will have the possibility. And again, we are now in totality across parts of Central Texas, and you're going to have the chance.
Shadow bands on the ground.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that is so cool.
So yeah, right here, we're getting close to the potential where you may be able to see the Bailey beads, and then that diamond ring effect will go. You still want to keep your glasses on right now. That there's still enough. You don't think there's a lot of sunlight, but enough that could to cause issues.
Wow,
so we're getting to the point where the corona should start to show up. You may notice the low clouds going away gradually. Oh, the corona's starting to appear. All right, so here comes the diamond ring effect. Should be right
about now.
We can hear people cheering on the other parking lots.
Oh my goodness. How incredible is that? Wow.
Okay, so to the right, of, you're not going to see it on the TV if you're outside, that bright dot to the right, that is Venus. If you look off to the left, about twice so far away, that is Jupiter. Somewhere between Jupiter and the sun, closer to Jupiter than the sun, you may get the chance to see the comet Pons-Brooks comet. I don't see it from where we're looking right now.
Wow, but look at so you think to the left with that? Yeah, so that would be Jupiter?
Should be just on the right of...
oh, wow.
Wow. So again, folks, if you can get outside, we'll talk you through this, but...
Take it in.
We have most of us lucky enough to see this. And what you're seeing in the wispy... Oh, now you see some little brightness there, kind of on the bottom part of the sun there. You may well see it. That's a little bit of a solar flare going on there.
Oh, yes.
So the wispy outside part is what's called the corona. That is the outer atmosphere of the sun, something you cannot see on Earth if a total eclipse isn't ongoing. So that is the kind of the plasma shooting away from the sun, and we are lucky enough to get the chance to see this.
Wow. I don't even think I have any more words in my vocabulary right now. Just wow.
And you can notice it feels cooler.
It does feel
The
cooler.
winds have died down.
I mean, just to remind everybody, it is 1:39 in the middle of the day, and it looks like this outside. Just incredible.
Yeah. And if you're on a higher spot, now the clouds may block it some, but it will look a little bit like a 360-degree sunset. So
this is truly incredible.
now what we will, if you're in an area with clouds, you'll start to see eventually the shadow line move back across the sky. But again, if you're looking, what we can see from our studio, to the right of the moon, that is Venus. To the left, a little farther away, what looks like a star, that is Jupiter. And can't see the comet. Some folks that maybe have binoculars may be able to see it, but that is the amazing view. Yeah, it feels like it's dusk right now in Central Texas.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Oh man, it is really cool to even see the colors of the clouds change.
What is that?
Wow. Is that something?
No, it was something on the TV.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were seeing something. So again, we are in the midst of totality right now. The amazing thing with this solar eclipse compared to 2017, this is a very much above average length of time that many areas of Central Texas, 4 minutes or longer in the path of totality. And we're going to be quiet here some because we just want everybody to take it in for sure. So the red dot you're seeing there is likely where there's a little deeper crevice in the moon. So those are kind of those Bailey beads. That, or it could be a little bit of flare on the moon or the sun. So the sun's in a more active phase right now. And as it starts getting a little bit, yeah, you'll start seeing a few more of those that are showing up. But that's a little more of the sun's rays pushing through a deeper spot in the moon. And what's cool is, if you watch some of the video from other parts of the country today, the corona is going to look different. That wispy spot there will look different throughout the day. It's not a constant. You kind of think as the clouds change here, the atmosphere, the sun, the outer atmosphere. Now you're starting to get, oh, here comes the diamond ring again.
Diamond ring again. So now is the time to put those glasses back
now
on.
you need to put the glasses back on if you're in the Waco area or southwest from there. So there's the second diamond ring. So now we're into what, third contact? Is that what the?
Yes.
So watch how much the light brightens back up all across the area as we now have officially in Waco passed completely through totality. And I'm hoping most everybody got the view. We lucked out to get here.
Yes.
This is really cool. So again,
Actually kind of speechless.
Yeah, I know it does. It's hard to
put
hard
words
to
together.
think about it. So
I know.
yeah, it's starting to lighten back up a little bit. I didn't see it. The cumulus clouds didn't break up or decrease too much in size, but
no.
the temperature definitely dropped.
Oh, wow.
So our south and western counties, all the way from Waco southwest, totality has come to an end. We still probably have a little bit as you're moving more Hillsboro to Corsicana. Again, the view you're seeing is from outside our KWTX studios. Gorgeous view. You know, across the way from us is a nursing home and area at Providence, and we all heard them cheering when it went into and cheering when it finished. And you know, we've got 20 some odd people probably outside our TV station outside looking. I hope you got the chance to take this in with people. I know my wife and son are out at the practice football field near our house laying out, and took the dogs out to see. I think one of my dogs isn't acting very good though, but yeah.
You can blame it on the eclipse.
Yes. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, can you words to put to it?
Oh, I just feel like we've been talking so much about it being a once in a lifetime opportunity, and that's exactly what I feel like right now. I'm like, we are so lucky.
It was
to
even cooler.
experience
Look,
this.
I didn't, even talking to the experts, I didn't even expect the corona to go out that far. I was trying to see the first diamond ring, and I didn't see it as well. And then it was like, oh my goodness, it's already there. So what you're going to see the rest of the time between now and 3 o'clock, the moon will gradually move away. So the eclipse, I'm still nearly goosebumps. So the eclipse view the sun will be coming out. But now's the fun, talk about it with friends and family and stuff. And don't get in a huge hurry to jump in the car just because it's finished. Enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it is an awesome thing. All right, so we want to check in with folks all across Central Texas and kind of see what it was like where they were. Hopefully they had just the greatest view as we did. So let's check in with Isabella Quintanilla.
Yeah, thanks, Brady. I'm here in Temple at the Robinson Family Farm, and we just watched the total solar eclipse. What an incredible experience. I'm here with someone else who not only witnessed the eclipse, but captured it on his special camera. Now, what is your name and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Dan Whiteside. I'm from Tampa, Florida.
Perfect. And what are you doing out here today?
Just here to take some nice pictures of the eclipse and enjoy the majesty of nature.
Yeah. And you said earlier when we were talking, this is your second total solar eclipse.
Yep, that's right. I went to the one in 2017 in Nebraska, got some good shots, and I hope I got some good ones today from what I can tell.
What was the experience like this time around?
I mean, it's really just awe-inspiring to see it and really to kind of feel your place in the universe, actually, just to see the moon move over the sun like that and see the corona come out. It's really just almost indescribable in a way, just the majesty of nature.
Yeah. What was the best part about the surrounding and being surrounded by other people?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know all the people here are so enthusiastic, and people with telescopes and people taking pictures and folks coming up, wanting copies of my pictures, which is cool as well. Yep, and just seeing everybody really enjoy the experience and the enthusiasm. So, and it's a beautiful spot here at Robinson Family Farms as well. So,
a great spot to watch the solar eclipse.
Absolutely.
Now, are you planning on going to the next one?
Absolutely. Well, there's one in Tampa in 2045, so I'll stay in good shape and be ready for that one.
Well, thank you so much. I hope you had a great time. It was a truly incredible experience, and I know we're all super excited to be able to witness that. Reporting live in Temple, Isabella Quintanilla, KWTX News 10.
just talked to you before the eclipse. How are we feeling now? This is your second one.
This is my second total eclipse in a long time. I don't know the other ones, but this was the best one that I've been to. I went to the 2017 in Teton Valley, and we were with family. There were about 10 people. And this was so much more fun because everyone who hadn't seen one before was just so excited to see totality. And then we got to see the entire totality, and just as it was ending, the clouds covered the sun. So it
gives me chills. Like, I agree with you. It was perfect timing with the clouds. I know everyone was worried about it all day. Also, again, everyone was cheering. It was so exciting. There was a countdown and everything. So, I mean, how are you just feeling right now? I know it's not life-changing, but how are you feeling?
Well, I am just so thrilled to be here and to see another one. And, every chance I get, I'm going to try to see one. Right. It was really nice to be here in Hillsboro to see this one.
Yes, I know so many people out here are just thrilled right now. There's just so much energy. Everyone just feels like it was a beautiful experience. So we're very grateful right now. Live in Hillsboro, Allie Cadlebar, KWTX News 10.
Astronauts here in Waco, my friends Brendan and Nick and I are still taken back by what just happened. I mean, what are you all's first Oh, it's awesome, that's right. You got people so excited, just like these folks here. So tell me, what was your first reaction?
It was incredible. It was definitely worth traveling. I mean, we came all the way from Hawaii, so it's a pretty far trip, but it was definitely worth it. Something that, I mean, if you're not in the path of totality, it's definitely worth traveling. If it's near far, it's worth traveling to get into the path of totality. It's a totally different experience.
So coming from Hawaii to Waco, why Waco though?
Well, we kind of thought, we've never been to Texas before too, so check out the other state on our list of 50. It just seemed like it's a good location to go to. So far, it's been great. Yeah.
There you go. So tell me, I mean, after seeing all this, experiencing Waco, is seeing another solar eclipse something to do on your bucket list? Would you want to do this again or not?
I would do it again. I mean, it definitely depends on where it is and how far you have to travel, but if it's reasonable, I definitely do it.
There we go. Okay. Well, we hope that's the case. We hope that's the case, folks, for sure. So that's all we have here live in Waco. Jasmine Lotz, KW.
I'm here with Ryan, the city. We just saw last few minutes.
Bye. All right, so obviously there's a little bit of that technical difficulty we feared could happen with all the people gathering for this solar eclipse. We know, again, that people are expected to maybe now hit the roads as it's passing through the central Texas area. So we continue to keep an eye on it, but so far nothing has changed on the TxDOT roads, but you saw some of our feeds going in and out there. We know a lot of people are now moving around now that the eclipse has passed through, and so it seems to be having a bit of an impact on some cell signals and things like that throughout the region. Now, as a reminder, officials have urged people, if you get into some kind of emergency situation and you're trying to call 911 and you're having service issues, you always have that option to text 911 to get that service, to get that emergency service that you need. You can get to them quicker, we are told, through text message than making a phone call if you are having that trouble. But our coverage will continue here as we know this solar eclipse continues to move across the United States. In fact, as we track it here on NASA, if I click the live button here to get an update, we can see it's moved out of Texas now, making its way across the country. It still has a ways to go over Ohio, parts of Pennsylvania, into New York, and different parts of the country. So an incredible thing for us to see in Texas. It's hard to believe that it's already out of the state of Texas, but it is making its way here as it moves across. It's this big orange circle that you're seeing on this NASA live map right now, moving across the country, heading next towards Indianapolis. Of course, we know it's going to make its way to Cleveland then in just a short while. But checking the ERCOT grid here real quick, and actually we can tell you earlier the solar energy we knew was going to be impacted by this eclipse. Earlier today, there was about this much solar energy contributing to the power grid. Earlier today, that orange sliver, if you can even see it, is just that tiny mark at the top. We knew it was going to have an impact. However, the good news here, ERCOT is saying grid conditions are normal, so nothing to be concerned about as far as the power goes, even though we lost that sunlight across the state of Texas, and now we are slowly getting it back more and more. Checking again on our road conditions, nothing really changing. A lot of these roads are just wide open. We're going to go back in a few minutes here. We recorded these live shots. We're going to see if people were pulling over on the side of the road. Obviously, that was something TxDOT and officials were urging people against doing, but one of those once-in-a-lifetime moments. Sure, a lot of people are wanting to stop and take that in, but we are again continuing to watch as all those people wrap up after they saw this magnificent thing happen and head back home. So we're going to keep an eye and let you know if it is impacting traffic at all.
We're going. We are back in event at the Buena Vista RV Park and Wildlife Safari, and I've got Barbara with me, another member of our traveling group of Virginia Tech Hokies, and we've passed the point of totality at this point. Barbara, I mean, what was it like from your perspective?
It was great. We watched it go like on the Oreo cookie thing where you could see everything, and then afterwards a little glare.
And judging by your glasses, this is not your first rodeo with the eclipses, right?
No.
How does this one compare to maybe some of the other ones that you've gotten the chance to see?
This one was a little better. Yeah.
What do you think made it better?
We're out in the open, and the cows are nearby, and they laid down, and the rooster crowed.
What was that like to kind of, be able to see all the animals? I mean, we've got a unique perspective here with all the different kinds of wildlife. I mean, they really did just kind of shift to night mode for 3 or 4 minutes. What was going through your head when you saw that?
Well, the birds stopped singing, and it was amazing.
Yeah, there really is not much else like it, to be honest. And now that, we've got some clouds now, but are you willing to say that it was a success, I guess you could say?
Oh, yeah,
now that
this was a success. The clouds didn't cover anything till the end.
And where did you come in from today? Or this weekend, rather, I should say.
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Fredericksburg, Virginia. So another group another lady, making the long haul from Virginia to Event, Texas to see the Great American Eclipse. Reporting in Event, Nate Smith, KWTX News 10.
Question will just be about law enforcement. Sorry, I'm going to call back in. There was like a really annoying thing. I don't know what it was.
Welcome to the world of Eclipse cell phone fun. So you, depending on your provider, some issues, but I hope you got a chance to get out. If you didn't, I hope you took our coverage and helped you get a chance to be a part of this, because we've been talking. I don't know how you explain it, really.
I really don't. I'm still at a loss for words. We keep on getting goosebumps randomly again, thinking about it.
It's got more of an emotional feel than I think. And like I said, we've been working on degrees of science and stuff like that about this for nearly a year now, and we've been told this is what you're going to see, but till you see, for many of us, that's the only time in your life you will ever see the corona of the sun. You can see satellite shots from the NASA SOHO satellite in space, but that right there, that view is something, and you'll see pictures. And what's cool is it'll look completely different as it moves across the path of totality. So yeah, it'll give you chills, nearly feel like you're gonna, just very emotional feel, I guess. But yeah, it is now past totality, and we've got until 3 o'clock
Until
that
about-
this will
yeah, so-
continue to go away.
Some of our last contact times, anywhere from about 2:58 to from Lampasas to about 3:02 to Corsicana. So we about have another hour of the event itself. But now, from now on, you'll definitely want to make sure you have your glasses.
Yes.
That you have to put them on. We were talking earlier about the clouds, though.
Yeah, they went away. You know, we knew there was a chance with that, but yeah, it went away. Now we'll see how quick they build back in. Let's check in with Jessica Rajkumar. She's live in Killeen.
Have just come back from seeing it in totality, and can you guys introduce yourselves and tell me where you're from?
Hi, I'm Aimee, and this is my husband Dave Damstra, and we are from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, all right. So we were talking a little bit about it earlier. We were worried if we were going to be able to see it because of the clouds, but that reveal was spectacular. Could not have been planned better. So what did you guys think?
Oh, it was perfect. It was like some giant hands just parted the clouds and allowed us to see it. It was amazing, just awe-inspiring.
Right. And what did you think, Aimee?
Oh, we were expecting to see the corona, and there were clouds, but then there's like a wind that blew it, and then we took off our solar eclipse glasses, and there we saw it. So beautiful.
Right. And it was weird because when you put the glasses on and tried to see it in totality, you couldn't see anything.
No,
but before, it's like you know, your retinas were literally being burned if you tried to look at it before. But let's talk about kind of when that moment where it cleared apart. What were you guys hearing from everyone around you?
Oh, you could just hear everybody gasp because it was just, it's so incredible. It was beautiful and awe-inspiring, and just everybody gasped almost in reverence. It was so amazing.
Right. And so you guys came from Wyoming to see it. What do you think? Or sorry, Wisconsin, right? So do you? One of the W states. So did you guys think it was worth it? And just kind of share your thoughts of what you thought.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is our second eclipse. We saw the one in southern Illinois in 2017, and if you ever get the chance to see one, absolutely. It's just amazing and worth every bit of the trip. Plus, we got to visit grandbabies, which was the real reason.
Right. Very memorable trip, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So if there was I think we're trying to see another, maybe not a total solar eclipse, but another eclipse maybe in the coming years. Would you guys kind of travel and do the same thing to go see that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. Our daughter even called her dad, like, you guys are eclipse nerd, because we travel.
I'm afraid I have a new family nickname now here.
What is it?
Eclipse nerd.
Eclipse nerd. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with me and sharing this awesome experience. I will be meeting up with the Houston Astronomers Club later today, so make sure to stay tuned. But until then, reporting in Killeen, Jessica Rajkumar, KWTX News 10.
I keep on wanting to just look at the sun. I'm like, oh, wait, can we just go back a little bit, experience totality again? It was just magical.
You know, when you talk to people that have traveled all over the world, we knew all of NASA was coming down here, like, you know, I knew they were saying it was a big deal, and I knew the way they were talking it was a big deal, but now that you see it, you can kind of see why people were...
double the time of the totality
yeah.
in 2017 to now, so...
And
it went by so fast.
And Mother Nature, you know, gave us a great, I would say probably 90% of Central Texas had a pretty cool view of that.
Mm-hmm.
The clouds broke apart. You can still see that they're not as big as they were. Now, it'll be interesting to watch as we go from now to when we could see storms, how much the atmosphere, you'll probably notice getting really muggy, really warm, really quick. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to put to words on how cool this has been.
Yeah, and so I think even to soak up this moment, right? Again, we have about another hour, but then we do want to remind you, though, again, about that severe weather later this afternoon and evening. So just stay weather aware. We'll keep you updated.
Our coverage is going to continue live for another hour. We've got the 4 o'clock show, 5 and 6. We'll have more. We're checking in with people all across Central Texas. But for the next hour, we're going to send it into the studio to Lauren and Gordon, who will have more coverage from inside the studio. But from out here, for me and Jillian, thanks for riding along on this show with us.
Brady, wow, what a spectacular day and what a spectacular event. We've been talking about this for months and months and months on end. We've heard experts talking about it for months and months on end, and until you experience it in person, it's very hard to describe.
It lived up to the hype. I think it really did.
Oh, absolutely.
We were all outside.
Cloud cover or no
hugging.
cloud cover.
Yes.
It was still amazing. And lots of people came from all around the world to this part of our neck of the woods to witness this path of totality. And I hope it was worth the trip.
Yeah, and we appreciate you watching, but if your family's outside enjoying all of the celebrations, that's amazing too. It's just a big celebration for hours we've been having here, and I'm so happy that the clouds did part from where we were. In 2017, an estimated 215 million U.S. adults viewed the solar eclipse either directly or digitally. The biggest difference between the two is that today's eclipse path will pass over more cities and densely populated areas than the one in 2017. Nearly 32 million people live in the path of totality this year compared to 12 million in 2017. And we have a map showing the path of the 2017 total solar eclipse that crossed from Oregon to South Carolina. Today's eclipse crossing from Mexico, clearly through Texas, up to Maine and exiting over Canada.
If you missed out on eclipse, and I hope you didn't, unfortunately, your next chance of seeing something like this won't be for another 2 decades. The next total solar eclipse expected in the U.S. will be in 20 years, August of 2044. Here's the catch. Only 3 states in the U.S. will see totality: Montana, North and South Dakota.
If you've been watching, our News 10 crews are covering this historic event. They've been out all over our area all day long, from Lampasas, Evant, Gatesville, Killeen, Temple, Waco, and Hillsboro. This is the first total solar eclipse for parts of central Texas since 1878, nearly 150 years ago.
We'll be checking in with them throughout the show, but right now let's start with News 10's Alex Fulton in Lampasas.
Hey, Lauren and Gordon. I'm here with Ryan Ward, the Assistant City Manager for the City of Lampasas. So, totality just wrapped up about 10 minutes ago. What'd you think?
Unbelievable. That was really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I wish we could do that 10 more times, but it was really neat.
Yeah, and so we've been out here all day. People are starting to kind of leave. So, what's the city's plan now? What's kind of y'all's focus?
The city's plan is something we've been focused on for about 2 years, but the main thing is mobility and moving vehicles back out of the city to the destinations they need to get to. We've made some changes to the traffic signals on some of the TxDOT right-of-ways. We've also ramped up our PD and staffing for that, as well as monitoring traffic volumes with cameras that we've set up for the event. So
that's awesome to hear. And you also have some extra law enforcement the past few days and today as well, right?
All of our PD staff is currently working the event over the weekend. We also had some security that we had at one of our larger parks here at the 580 Sports Complex. And so that's kind of the overall layout, you know, as far as how we ramped up for public safety. We have all of our fire staff is also available and ready to go as well. So
that's awesome to hear. It sounds like y'all are ready for any kind of emergency that might come from all these people in town. We know people from all around the country are here in Lampasas, have been here. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Reporting live in Lampasas, Alex Fulton, KWTX News 10.
All right, we're back in Event, where we're now going to highlight some of the furry friends that make their travels with this group. We've got, I believe there's Trixie, I hope I got her name right, Trinity, and Duffy and Jim right here. Now, Duffy belongs to Jim. Duffy's a well-traveled dog. Tell me about some of the places he's been.
He loves going, he didn't really love traveling. He loves being with us, but we've been to the four corners of the U.S., to Newfoundland, Alaska twice, and on our sailboat down to the Bahamas twice from Virginia. So he is well traveled. He likes being with us, and he doesn't care where he is or what he's doing, but getting treats. It's
the mark of a good pup is what that is.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone treats their dogs like their kids, every great dog owner. If you had to guess, what's Duffy's favorite spot been?
Home.
home? How much time does Duffy spend at home?
Oh, quite a bit, actually.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Because he doesn't have to be on a leash, doesn't have to be walked, so he's free to roam there.
So as much as he likes being with all these great people and like seeing all these sights that, you know, all of us would love to get to see one day, he's a homebody, just like me. I get you, Duffy. I understand you. Reporting any event, Nate Smith, KWTX News 10.
Hey guys, still here at the Gatesville Baseball Park, and honestly, I got to tell you that we were all like kids in a candy store when we were getting to watch that eclipse in totality. It was absolutely incredible. And so now I am joined with Liam Finn. He is a NASA ambassador that made the trip all the way to Gatesville so that you could educate people on what's happening here today. Can you kind of just talk about some of the educational experiences you brought?
Well, I did some talks in the area with regards to the science behind an eclipse and why they happen. And then when we're here, I did a lot of outreach and answering questions for people, explaining what was coming up. I also did call-outs so people knew when it was safe to take the glasses off and take filters off their cameras so they can get all the detail in whatever type of photographs they're trying to get to and capture the event.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually want us to get closer to this because this was a really neat thing that you were talking about. Solar projector, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a very simple solar projector. All it uses is a flat mirror, and that redirects the sunlight through this lens, which focuses at about 80 feet away, so you can see the partial phases of the eclipse appear. So it saves people having to constantly stare at the sky with the eclipse glasses, and people who don't have eclipse glasses can actually see the phases as they happen.
That's awesome, and I know you live for this stuff, so when you hear all the oohs and the ahs when that totality hit, what does that feel like for you?
It's amazing. Every eclipse is different, even for me. Like, this is my 4th eclipse. Every eclipse is different. Some people get very emotional during eclipses, some people get very spiritual during eclipses. It all varies, and you know, it's unique to each individual person, so that makes it fun.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Liam, for taking the time. All right, well, we are going to be out here for just a little bit longer. People have started to leave, but there are some people that are sticking around and waiting until this is all the way done, so we will be out here until then. I'm reporting live in Gatesville. Madison Herber, KWTX News 10.
All right, guys, we're back in Killeen, and I'm here with Leanna from the North Houston Astronomy Club. She got here a lot earlier than I did, I will say. I think you set up your telescope first before I set up my camera.
Oh, okay.
But so how was the experience for you so far? What did you see through the telescope?
It's amazing. Well, it's a hydrogen alpha, so it takes a picture of the sun, and it's a red color, so you're just seeing that. So you're not really seeing the eclipse through it, but it was really exciting. I really had so much fun here. I've never been through an eclipse before, so this was really nice.
Awesome. And I see you have your camera, you have the laptop, the telescope set up. So what does that all kind of do? Like, what are you gearing to? What's the end product, I guess?
Gearing to look back and see some photos. We put the little sun filter that came with the Celestron kit, and so it'll have its own sun filter over the camera lens, and it looks like we've got some really good pictures. So really excited to go back home and process these and all of that.
Okay, and so you are with the Astronomy Club in North Houston. So can you tell me a little bit about what you guys do and why you came all the way over to Killeen to see the eclipse today?
Well, Killeen is Central Texas. This is the totality, so that was it. My brother was coming, he picked it out. I'm like, oh, that's great, we'll just go there. The Astronomy Club, we do a lot of outreach. We set up, we go to parks and go to public events and just share that love of astronomy. Bring telescopes out and say, hey, come take a look at the universe in our solar system.
Right.
So,
And
yes.
you were telling me that your brother didn't come, and I bet he's regretting it now.
He is. He's always blowing up my phone.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Leanna. So I will be checking back in with you guys later, but for now, reporting in Killeen, Jessica Rajkumar, KWTX News 10.
Thank you, Jess, and to all of our crews out there covering the crowds here in Central Texas. Throughout the afternoon, we've been showing you the traffic conditions across our area as thousands of people visited for today's eclipse.
So far, they've been pretty quiet. Right now, we'd like to send it over to News 10 anchor Megan Boy, who's been monitoring the conditions for us. Megan, is it getting busier out there yet?
Yes, I do actually have something to show you guys, and it is happening in the Waco area. Of course, that camera just dipped out, but the frontage road along I-35 is starting to pick up with traffic. You can imagine people leaving that McLean Stadium big event on the Brazos. So here we go. If we could take this picture full screen, it's a little bit frozen right now, but these all along here are cars filling this frontage road. We really weren't seeing anything like that happening earlier today. Again, the TxDOT cameras coming in and out at this time. Also over here, I want to point your attention to Bernie. Earlier, we were seeing heavy traffic going this way. That was towards Kerrville and some of Fredericksburg, some of those really heavy eclipse viewing spots. And now you can see that traffic going in, much less popular going out, a lot more cars going that direction. So again, I want to point your attention one more time to this. Now we got a live picture here. I-35, this is Baylor over here that you're seeing, the Hurd Welcome Center, Baylor's campus, and the frontage road over on this side really starting to fill up with cars as people, as we can imagine, are leaving town after seeing that incredible eclipse. We're going to continue to monitor these traffic conditions across the region. We know that people saw what they came to see, and now they're ready to go back home. So we're going to keep an eye on this for you throughout the day. We'll be right back, of course, with a lot more eclipse coverage.